Frozen foods are an option for dinner. Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS Inform. I'm your host, Bill Potter. Thank you for joining me. Joining me in the studio is Jan Dougan, the Health and Human Sciences educator for Purdue Extension, and we're going to talk about frozen foods.
Yes, we are today.
Yes, frozen foods are an easy way to make a dinner.
You know what? For those who are empty nesters, for those maybe who are living alone, or for a quick meal, when you have a really busy schedule, it's a great way to put dinner on the table.
Let's talk a little bit about the history of frozen food.
Okay.
You know, TV dinners, I can remember when I was a kid, back in the 60s.
Yes.
Yeah, it was in the 60s. And I remember the foil, you know, the little partition things, and the foil folded over, you had to put it in the oven.
Right.
And it was a quick, easy meal to make, and they were really pretty good, but I don't remember when they started.
So the first frozen dinner was introduced in 1954.
Wow.
I won't tell you how old I was in 1954.
No, you don't need to. And that was 25 years ago.
And
not 25 years ago. That was like, how long ago was that? 70, 80 years ago? No, 60 years.
It's been a while.
64.
And the frozen foods have greatly improved, the frozen meals. But back then it was such a life-saving dinner for moms who were, doing everything at home. Most of the moms were at home. They weren't in the workforce. And this really was a great introduction to a different way of providing meals for families. The very first dinner consisted of turkey, gravy, cornbread stuffing, sweet potatoes, buttered peas. And what do you think that sold for?
I'm thinking around $1.
You're right. It was 98 cents.
Wow.
98 cents, but that would have been a lot back in 1954,
yes,
right?
Right. Well, you can still get some TV dinners for around that price. Well, I don't even think they call them TV dinners anymore.
They do not. And so, I think about this. I think this was just such bad behavior we were modeling. Not only did we encourage people not to watch TV while they eat. You know that, Bill, right?
Mindful eating.
So we want to be more mindful when we're eating, but they were called TV dinners, right? And so people must have eaten dinner. I remember my TV tray, and I took my TV dinner on and sat there and watched TV while I ate it.
Right, but now there's a wide variety of different things that you can make that are frozen.
Yes.
Not just that one TV dinner with like maybe 5 selections total. Now there's wow.
Well, so there's individual entrees that you can purchase, or you can purchase different parts of my plate. You can purchase fruits, vegetables, grains, and protein, and put a meal together. So what we want to encourage you to do is think about looking in the frozen food section for some healthy meal options. So those whole grains that you want to look for, they have frozen brown rice, they have frozen quinoa, and they even have some other frozen pastas and things that you can buy. But look for the whole grain ones. That would be a healthier choice. In the fruits, when you're looking at the fruits, try to pick a fruit that is unsweetened. So if you're getting a bag of strawberries or peaches or whatever fruit, tropical fruit, pineapple. I saw pineapple the other day. These are great to keep on hand, great to throw in for smoothies, great to throw into some recipes that you might use for cooking, but look for the unsweetened fruits. There's tons of veggies in the choices, but what I've noticed is that there's a lot more choices now that have some kind of sauce in them. So you really need to check that ingredient label to see what is in that sauce. You are better off choosing ones without added fat, without salt, and without added sauce, and make your own sauce. So make your own sauce to put on your vegetables. Then you can control the contents of that sauce and make it healthier. The protein, there's going to be lean proteins, there's going to be chicken, there's beef, there's crumbles, there's all kinds of things out there. So, it's great to purchase some of these things, have them on hand, easy, quick meals when you're in a hurry, or you can control how much you make. If you're cooking for one, it's a lot easier to cook for one if you use those frozen things. But you want to keep in mind that you still need to read that ingredient label. You still need to look for some things that are lower in sodium, lower in sugar, and lower in fat.
And I've noticed that. looked, there was a TV dinner I thought this had a lot of flavor, very flavorful one, and it had a lot of salt. But I thought, you know, there's other choices I can pick somewhere along the line. And I don't remember frozen food tasting as good as it does today. Maybe that's because I was a kid, but is it less processed? You would think it'd be more processed, but it's less processed.
So the process has changed, and they can do a much better job of maintaining that freshness and that color and that taste in the foods now. So a lot of things are quick frozen. So they go from the fresh state to the frozen state in a quicker way. And so it's just going to be, the nutrients are retained. You know, back when I was in school, fresh was always the best choice because you gained more nutritional value from fresh garden produce. And if you walk out to your garden, you still probably do. But if you think about produce that is shipped from another country or shipped across country to us, it loses nutritional value when that happens. So when they can pick it, and they can freeze it quickly and then ship it, it's going to be more in nutritional value. So don't overlook the frozen food aisle. Think about it, look there, and some meal ideas like a stir fry. A stir fry dinner would be very easy to do using frozen food. You can just simply add your meat and your vegetables and quick fry it, add low sodium soy sauce, a little ginger, and you've got a stir fry meal.
Sometimes when you buy fresh, it's hard to plan your day because if you have this fresh, you've got to use it in a few days.
That's true.
But if it's frozen, you've got all the time in the world whenever it's convenient for you to use it.
That is true. And you know, Purdue Extension has done some work on food waste and understanding the vast amount of food that is wasted in our country and in our own state. And when you think about in your own home, in your own refrigerator, when you buy those things fresh and then your plans change or you're not able to cook that when you plan to do it, then it goes to waste and we have to throw it away. So if it's frozen and in your refrigerator section of your freezer or in your freezer, it's going to be ready to use. But don't buy more than you really can use up within a couple weeks or a few months, because really frozen food doesn't stay great forever. It's not a food safety issue for the foods that are in our freezer, but it is a quality issue. There's only a certain amount of time things will stay okay in the freezer. And when I say okay, I mean taste-wise. You know, if it's been in there for over 6 months, it starts to taste not quite as good. The quality isn't quite as there. It might have ice crystals on it, formed on it, and that takes the moisture out of the product, and so then it's just not as tasty. So, you know, we don't want to overbuy, but to keep some of these things on hand for a quick and easy meal so that you can follow my plate and reduce your fat, your sugar, and your sodium, it's a great way to go.
It's a great way to go if you're trying to put more vegetables in your diet.
Yes.
Because you think of the inconvenience of fresh, sometimes you got to use it right away. But if it's frozen, you can buy a variety.
Sure.
Pretty well anything you want.
Sure, sure. So, you know what? You can get that bag of peas out and add, you know, green peas to your plate, or they even have frozen sweet potatoes now, so you can get those out, and you know, if you need to doctor them up a little bit with some things from your pantry and make those for your tasty plate. But you know, it's a great way to get more veggies on your plate. Great way.
Basically frozen, almost the same as fresh.
Yes.
All right. Jan, thank you very much for being our guest.
Thank you, Bill.
And thank you for watching 18WJTS. We hope that you take a little more time through the frozen food aisle of the grocery store. You might be surprised what you can come up with in the future. Our guest has been Jan Dougan. Thank you for watching WJTS. We're local people watching local people.